Hi guys, today I'll show you how to make pootie, Indian fried bread. This is the easiest Indian bread you can make at home. It's much easier than roti, chapathi and paratha because it's deep fried and will taste fine even if it doesn't puff up completely. If rotis and chapathis aren't soft, they're not pleasant to eat. In this video, I'll show you the different types of flour used to make pooties, how to make the dough by hand and in a stand mixer, how to roll it easily, and how to fry so they puff up. To make pootie, you can use any of these three types of flour. The most common is atta, or whole wheat flour. This flour is golden in color. If you've had pootie in an Indian restaurant, it's made with atta. Atta is sold in Indian markets. I'll leave links below this video if you don't have access to an Indian store and want to get it online. The second option is whole wheat flour found in standard grocery stores. Pooties made with this flour will be darker in color when fried than the ones made with atta. This flour is good for making pooties and has a delicious wheaty taste. It tastes the healthiest and has the most texture out of all three options. The third is all-purpose flour or maida. It's white flour and pooties will be very light in color. The dough is the softest. It's also very chewy and bland. Not my favorite for pootie. Some people use half all-purpose flour and half atta, which makes pooties tastier than using just all-purpose flour. To make the dough, all you need is flour, salt, water, and a bit of oil. I'll use the atta first and show you how to make the dough in my KitchenAid stand mixer. This is the fastest and easiest way to make dough. Put 2 cups of atta in the bowl, half a teaspoon salt, the dough hook for mixing, 2 teaspoon vegetable oil, and hot water. Not boiling water, just hot. Mix this on stir speed and add water as necessary. You'll definitely need a half a cup of water, so add that in 2 stages. Then a tablespoon or 2. I always heat 3/4 of a cup of water and have that ready in a measuring cup. So after you've used a half a cup of water, use a tablespoon and drizzle in additional water. When the dough hook has picked up all the flour in the bowl, go to speed 2. Then let the machine run for 5 minutes. The dough will come off the hook cleanly. Form it into a disc. You see it's soft, press it with your finger, and the indent should remain. I'm happy because I know this will be really easy to roll out. Cover it in plastic wrap or leave it in a bowl and cover with a cloth. The dough doesn't have to rest for long, 5 or 10 minutes is fine. Now I'll heat up my Lodge mini wok, which is extremely useful and not heavy compared to other cast iron pans. It's perfect for frying pooties because you don't have to use so much oil. Add oil, I'm using vegetable oil, just enough to deep fry the pooties, about 1/3 of the way up the wok. While the oil is heating, roll out the dough. You'll need a rolling pin and a little bowl with oil. I like to use this tapered rolling pin. It's lighter and much easier to use on the soft dough. Also have a paper towel lined plate and a slotted spoon or spatula to drain the pooties. You'll get about 14 balls depending on the size you want to make. It's best to make small ones, especially if you're new to making pooties. Take a small ball of dough and roll it in your palms. Make all the balls and keep them in a bowl covered with a cloth so they don't dry out. Take one ball, flatten it a little, and rub a drop of oil on the top and bottom so it's easy to roll. I don't use flour because excess flour could drop into the oil while frying, and I also don't want to add extra flour to the dough. Place the flattened ball on your counter. Starting from the middle, roll up and down once. Pick up and turn the dough 90 degrees and roll it up and down once. That's it. It should resemble a circle. Now all of the ones you roll won't be perfectly round unless you're an expert, but they will still puff up, so don't worry too much about the shape. The pootie should not be very thin, like when you roll out dough for roti. It should be a little thicker, but not too thick. After you cook one, you'll figure out how thin to roll it. If you're making larger pooties, you'll have to roll a little bit more to get the correct thickness. The oil needs to be very hot, and that's very important. Otherwise, the pooties won't puff up well. Take a tiny bit of dough and put it in the oil. If it floats up within a second or 2, the oil is ready. Take the rolled out dough and gently put it in the oil. Wait a few seconds and gently touch the top with your slotted spoon or spatula. it'll puff up. Do be careful because you don't want to put a hole in it with the spoon. Sometimes it'll puff up on its own without you even touching the top. Turn the pootie over and let the other side cook for a minute or less. It should be golden brown. You can gently press the pootie so the sides touch the oil and cook. Drain the pootie and place on the paper towel lined plate. Now you can roll each one and fry it, or roll out a few, leave them on the counter and fry. I do one at a time since it takes just a few seconds to roll each one. While frying, if you notice the pooties are getting too brown very quickly, turn the heat down a little. If you want all the pooties to be perfectly round, roll out the entire dough in one shot and use a biscuit cutter or a glass to cut out perfectly shaped pooties. I've given you all the steps in detail, so it'll be easier for you to make pooties. From start to finish, you can make 14 to 16 pooties in 45 minutes to an hour. As they sit, of course, they'll deflate, but still taste delicious. They're best served right away. You can store them in a bag for a day at room temperature, not refrigerated. Now I'll make dough by hand with the whole wheat flour. Put the flour in a bowl, salt, oil, mix it up with your fingers. Add half a cup of hot water all at once and mix. Get all the flour from the bottom. Knead it together. I'll sprinkle a little water on top because it's dry. Now everything is incorporated. Knead this on your countertop. The dough is a little sticky, so I'll sprinkle about 2 teaspoons flour on top. Knead for 5 minutes until the dough is soft like this. And there's the indent. Cover it and set aside. Again, you don't have to wait more than 10 minutes to roll out the dough. Here is the dough I made from all-purpose flour in the KitchenAid. Same process as the atta I had shown you. This dough is very soft and squishy. Roll it out the same way as the atta. Fry them up. Now I'll roll and fry the whole wheat dough. You can see the color difference between the all-purpose flour pootie and the whole wheat pootie. One's white and one's brown. Here's a plate of the atta pootie, which is yellow in color. This is the pootie that looks just like what you'd get at an Indian restaurant. Today I'm serving it with potato curry. It's easy to make, and I've put a link to that video below this one. Pooties are perfect, served with any meat curry, potato curry, chickpea curry, or sabzi. I hope you try making these pooties and different curries to go with them. If you want to get notifications when I put up a new video, click on the bell icon and select all. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. Subscribe and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.